New controversy swirling around the Clinton campaign this morning around Hillary Clinton's support for Huma Abedin's mother. It's under fire because she has apparently some radical ties, and they have been exposed mostly by the man we're talking to now. His name is Paul Sperry. He's a New York Post columnist, and he's been working on this for quite some time. He's the author of a book called Infiltration: How Muslim Spies and Subversives Have Penetrated Washington. Paul Sperry, thanks for joining us this morning. So summarize, if you would, why voters ought to be concerned about Huma Abedin's mother and what her ties are to Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so the latest is, you know about the Radical Journal that Huma worked for,
yes.
Her mother's Radical Journal, for almost 13 years. Well, now it turns out there's a book that she published through the same institute that Huma worked for all those years that actually puts out this religious justification for really medieval treatment of women, for women, and including stoning adulterous wives, marital rape, killing women who have left the faith, and even female genital mutilation of young girls. So some really vile stuff. And then I found a video of the mother actually sympathizing with men who beat their wives. I mean, she was on tape, but there's footage of her excusing domestic battery and saying that men are the real victims in the household.
So I'm a little confused here, because the one thing we know about Hillary Clinton is that she is a sincere feminist. She cares and talks an awful lot about the rights of women and girls. And here she is, in effect, making excuses for a system that treats women as property and is cavorting with people who justify that system. What is this about?
Yeah, it's really getting harder and harder for Hillary to reconcile this, you know, but far from distancing herself from the radical mother, who basically could be the woman could be a spokeswoman for the Taliban in Afghanistan with some of this radical stuff she's preaching. But far from distancing herself from the Huma's radical mother, she's actually, it turns out, Hillary's had an active relationship with this mother, visiting her over in Saudi Arabia and even inviting her back into the States in Washington at the State Department for functions, including forums on women's issues as a leading thinker.
If a Republican got up and said, I don't think women should be allowed to vote or drive, they have to cover themselves, they're not fully humans or citizens, Hillary would denounce the person. But if it's a Muslim who says that, it's just another form of worship?
Yeah, and I mean, I've given the Clinton campaign a chance for her to renounce this relationship, and they have declined comment, although they did confirm that Huma Abedin did work for that Radical Journal for almost 13 years. But there's also a national security implication here that's very serious, and it turns out that she was actually over there promising in Saudi Arabia, the mother, that she would reverse the post-9/11 restrictions on Saudi student visas, and she delivered on that promise big time. The number of Saudi visas have skyrocketed since she made that promise to the mother over there in Saudi Arabia.
It's really unbelievable. Paul Sperry, thanks a lot for your work and for bringing this to our attention. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tiger.